Hello and welcome to the November 17th, 2024 episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick, brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, I'm finally putting money into this project. We're on every Sunday, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News Facebook page or the YouTube page. That's right, we are dual streaming between Facebook and YouTube. We have figured out how to cross-platform. Hooray! This is a program dedicated to bringing some good news to counter all of the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis, with the hope of bringing a little bit of joy back into the world. Several of our articles are pulled from goodnewsnetwork.org and goodgoodgood.co, but we do appreciate everything sent in by you, the viewers. All right. So, we're back up. We've got things up and running. No gremlins so far, apart from my laptop whining quite a bit. Hopefully, we're going to get some new tech in by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. So, let's get into it. Hello, Rebecca in the Facebook chat. And let's get into our news brew. So, our news brew is 15, a blended barrel-aged Grand Cru by Surly Brewing Company. It is a 10.5% ABV Belgian Strong Ale. It's aged in Parker's Heritage Heavy Char bourbon barrels, and then it's back blended with High West Rye barrel-aged wild ale. So this is a crazy combo, and it is a boxed beer. The can is just as beautiful as the box. It's actually moderately horrifying. Hey, Julie. Checking in from the Facebook chat. So, normally, you can enjoy strong Belgian ales in a tulip glass, or, because I am facetious, I am going to use my St. Bernardus goblet. It is a good alternative to the tulip glass, though I absolutely love my tulip glasses. The goblet is just facetious enough for me. It's just, look at this thing. Look at this. Look at this monster. It's solid as could be. I do not save the cans normally. Producer Donna asked that in the Facebook chat. I do not normally save the cans. I recycle pretty much everything that's recyclable. So, let's move our beautiful box aside. And let's get into the theatrics of a 5-minute pour. We don't need the Balisong bottle opener because it's a can. It's a good pop. Oh, wow. Well, that smells amazing. The theatrics of a 5-minute pour. As we rise into frame. Every last bougie drop. The camera's freaking out. It can't handle this. Now, it looks like a strange color, but that is actually an amazing color for a Belgian ale. That is a pretty beer in a very pretty glass from a very pretty can. It's just pretty all over. Let's get into our shout-outs. If you're in the Kentwood, Michigan area, and you're looking for amazing treats, you can visit Steve and the crew at their booth at a pop-up holiday market Saturday on November 23rd, 2024 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to see the Sweet and Nutty Guy. That's right, so the Sweet and Nutty Guy is going to be in the Kentwood, Michigan pop-up holiday market on Saturday, the 23rd of November, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. As well as their usual delights, they will be featuring biscuits and homemade hot chocolate for gifting. After this event, Sweet and Nutty Guy will be taking a winter break, so visit them while you can. Website and email are in the description. To the Sweet and Nutty Guy. Cheers. Wow. Hi, Charlie, in the Facebook chat. Ooh, the bourbon. Oh, it just warmed me up. It's not super boozy. It's really fruity. There's a lot of like stone fruit and plum and fig, and it's syrupy. It's sweet. The bourbon is strong. The rye, too, the wild ale. This is a wild beer. Well, we're going to enjoy that one, folks. Next one, a big thank you to our graphics master, Grayson, with Graphics by Ashford. Grayson fixed our countdown timers. It was a simple fix, but producer Donna and I absolutely had no idea. We were not familiar with the problem in the least, and our research hadn't led us to a solution. Grayson found one and got everything working. So, Grayson, thank you very much, and cheers. And lastly, a fond happy birthday to Dungeons and Dragons, which hit the scene back in 1974. It's been 50 amazing years of tabletop gaming. Many thanks to the creators of Dungeons and Dragons for all that fun that has been brought over the decades. I know ever since my friend Eric Brand and Richard Johnson got me into tabletop and playing Dungeons and Dragons, I have loved it ever since. It's an amazing creative outlet for my imagination and for the imagination of thousands upon thousands of people across the globe. So to Dungeons and Dragons, happy 50th birthday. Cheers. Donna in the Facebook chat. Luckily, the countdown timer problem was something simple, so we didn't have to be embarrassed about it. For our quote, our news quote, "You and you alone are the only person that can live the life that writes the story that you were meant to tell. And the world needs your story because the world needs your voice." That comes from Kerry Washington. She's an American actress who's best known for her leading roles in the series Scandal, Little Fires Everywhere, and Unprisoned. And it's a really great quote to unpack. You and you alone are the only person that can live the life that writes the story that you were meant to tell. Your life is yours and your story to tell. And the world needs your story because the world needs your voice. I absolutely love that quote. Thank you very much, Kerry Washington. Cheers. So a bug update. It's been a mostly happy and healthy Bug World week. However, regrettably, I have to inform everybody that after our last broadcast, our Chinese praying mantis, Madeline Pryor, took a very quick and sudden turn for the worst. There was nothing I could do. She went downhill extremely quickly in terms of quality of life and functionality, and she is no longer with us. So, Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, rest in peace. She does leave behind a pretty sizable ootheca, a mantis egg case, so I'm hoping that it's fertilized, and in a couple months, we may have some mantis babies running around. We'll have to see if we have little goblins. I'm really hoping. Otherwise, for the bugs, Elmira is still in hibernation. Haven't seen her, but I did check on her. I haven't seen her top side, but I did pull the tank out and looked at her in her burrow. She's doing just fine down there, just chilling for the winter months. So when she comes back out, her tank will be nice and green. The moss is still growing in, so it's really cool. Sue built a new burrow at the back of the tank, so I can't see him anymore. I barely caught sight of him this morning. His solution to me is just to avoid me. I can tell that he's coming out because he's leaving dirt in the water dish when he walks through it, which is another good sign that he's burrowing. It means he's making a home. It means he's comfortable. Ripley is still scuttling around like a little angry crab, and so everything else in the bug room is going well. So with that, we can get into our good news. Our broadcast is broken up into 4 categories: science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes, the really nice articles that we like to end on. So we are going to start off in category 1, science and technology. I called this one medical... Oh, wait, hold on. I called this one race into STEM. I jumped the gun there. We're in science and technology, race into STEM. And I will copy and paste... I saw Charlie's post in the Facebook chat. Charlie said such an angsty bug, and I almost said pangsty. So I will, or pangst. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. And somebody confirmed to me that these go up properly. I hope you all had a phenomenal weekend. I know Comic-Con rolled through Grand Rapids, Michigan. I did not partake. I was picking up some really nice stuff, beer-wise and bourbon-wise, and also hanging out with a friend, and I had a fantastic time. So I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. YouTube is fine. Waiting to see if it loads up on our Facebook page. Man, you are really angry over there. Sorry. This is why we need some new tech. Anything on the Facebook page chat? Did the article pop up? Oh, it did. Thank you, Rebecca. All right, school pupils among first to play Minecraft F1 game. A group of school children have become some of the first people in the world to play a new motorsport version of the smash hit video game, Minecraft. That's right, we can do Minecraft in everything. Pupils from Middle Barton Primary School in Oxfordshire visited the headquarters of Formula One team BWT Alpine to get a sneak peek of the new minigame. It transforms the F1 team's base into the world of Minecraft, enabling players to explore the facility and learn about creating and racing a modern-day Formula One car all in 8-bit. The game is part of Alpine's support for the Race into STEM campaign, which aims to get more women involved in motorsports, as well as provide educational content for young people. It has been made in partnership with Minecraft owner and Alpine sponsor, Microsoft. In the game, players can interact with video game versions of real-life members of the team, including its head of build and test, chief financial officer, and team principal, Oliver Oakes. Away from the world of Minecraft, the real-life Mr. Oakes told the BBC, "I guess when you're young, everyone just thinks of Formula One as the drivers, really. But there's actually everything that goes into it. The engineering, the manufacturing, and the processes, all those subjects you study at school. Hopefully, from today, they just got a feel for all the possibilities as a career path." Also featured in the game is aerodynamics expert Paula Gutierrez, who said it was quite a funny experience to see herself recreated in video game form. "It's great that we can put these events on and let the children know what opportunities are available to them," she said. The minigame is now available to play for free online on the Minecraft education platform. Alpine, which is based in Enstone, currently sits 6th in the F1 Constructors' Championship. The team experienced its best result of the season last time out in Brazil, with both drivers Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly achieving a podium finish. This article came from the BBC. It was written on the 14th of November by Ethan Judge and Ross Heaton. So, to everybody involved with racing into STEM and converting F1, the world of F1, into Minecraft, cheers. I took a long sip of that because this beer is really good. I had some really good beer this weekend. This beer is also really good. So, closing this weekend out with a bang. It was honestly a bit of a slow news cycle. Producer Donna mostly, was struggling to help with finding good news articles. So we're going to bounce out of science and technology and jump right into health and medicine, category 2. And I will copy and paste this one into the chat if y'all want to read along. This is part of my second blooper of the night. And if somebody wants to confirm that these have hit the chats... Producer Donna in the Facebook chat, hey, anything encouraging education is good. That is absolutely why we went with that article. Thank you, Producer Donna. All right, I called this one Medical Debt Reset. Actual title, Mayor Carter announces nearly $40 million of medical debt abolished for 32,000 St. Paul residents. This was posted to St. Paul, Minnesota's government website for immediate release. It was posted on November 12th of 2024 by Jennifer J. Lore. On November 12th, Mayor Carter announced that the city of St. Paul and undue medical debt abolished nearly $40 million of medical debt for 32,000 St. Paul residents, in partnership with national independent nonprofit Undue Medical Debt, purchased from Fairview Health Services, and it's the first relief package of Mayor Carter's Medical Debt Reset Initiative. During his 2024 budget address, Mayor Carter committed $1.1 million in American Rescue Plan dollars to erase an estimated $110 million in medical debt for qualifying St. Paul residents. In the first round, the average amount of debt forgiven was $268, while the largest debt forgiven was $104,972. Recent data reveals that national medical debt has reached about $220 billion, impacting over 100 million Americans. Among the insured, roughly 54% of adults carry medical debt, while 41% of the uninsured face an even greater challenge. This complex burden often forces individuals to delay necessary care to prioritize basic needs like food and housing. However, postponing care leads to unresolved health issues, exacerbates anxiety and depression, and escalates larger financial problems. Medical debt is a major barrier holding our neighbors back from prioritizing their health, said Mayor Carter. By removing the burden of debt, we invest in the long-term health of our entire community. Many individuals are just one medical emergency away from facing a financial crisis. The Peterson Center on Healthcare and KFF reports 7.6% of Minnesota residents have medical debt, and the debt burden for communities of color are more elevated. Black adults are 50% more likely, and Hispanic adults 35% more likely than white adults to owe money for care. Fairview is committed to improving the health of St. Paul and the wider East Metro as a healthcare provider and an anchor in the community. Over the last few years, we have taken several important steps forward to realize our bold vision to bring breakthrough care to more people, including the creation of the Fairview Hub for Community Health and Wellness, and our ongoing dedication to addressing the social determinants of health. Whether it's through our Food is Medicine, Housing is Health, or our Connection is Cure programs, we are proud to step up and help make our communities stronger and healthier, said Fairview Health Services President and CEO James Hereford. Health is not only about buildings, hospitals, or clinics. Healthcare is about meeting the needs of patients where they are doing and where they are Healthcare is about meeting the needs of patients where they are and doing whatever we can to improve health outcomes and decrease cost. Our partnership with the City of St. Paul and Mayor Carter reflects our long-standing dedication to seek innovative solutions that have long challenged the healthcare sector. State and national partners have also taken steps to address medical debt fairness. In Minnesota, the Medical Debt Fairness Act recently went into effect, with its most notable provisions banning medical debt from being reported to credit reporting agencies. The act also ensures medical providers cannot withhold medical care despite unpaid debt. It's pretty crazy. The City of St. Paul and Undue Medical Debt hope to partner with the Minnesota Attorney General's office to explore ways to build on the Debt Fairness Act. Thank you, Rebecca, in the Facebook chat saying, I got this. Debt relief is a clear solution that reduces the stigma of medical debt and promotes awareness and policy change, in addition to removing the emotional and financial burden of medical debt currently weighing on people. Undue Medical Debt works directly with providers like hospitals and physician groups, in addition to the secondary debt market, to purchase and erase qualifying medical debt. I have immense appreciation for Mayor Carter and the St. Paul team behind the Medical Debt Reset Initiative, as well as Fairview Health Services for partnering with us to support a healthier St. Paul and erase these debts for those currently least able to pay, shared Undue Medical Debt CEO and President Allison Sezzo. Hello, Cassidy, in the Facebook chat. She said, late but made it. You did make it. Medical debt is a psychological burden, in addition to a financial one, that can cause patients to avoid necessary care. Simply having medical debt creates stress, which undermines people's health. That's why I'm grateful for this partnership, which is already removing this burden for tens of thousands and helping families heal. Individuals who qualify for medical debt abolishment through the city's initiative must currently live in St. Paul, have income up to 400% of the current federal poverty guidelines, or have medical debt that is 5% or more than their annual income. Debt relief is source-based, meaning the initiative can only erase qualifying debts that are acquired from participating providers like hospitals. Those eligible as part of the first round of abolishment will be notified soon by mail that some or all of their debt has been relieved. Recipients do not need to take any action. The city will announce as more debt is relieved and recipients receive letters in the mail. On Wednesday, November 13th, Mayor Carter was joined by the Undue Medical Debt CEO to participate in a virtual workshop with Next City's Solutions Festival. For more information, there is a website. So that is cool. Very cool to the Mayor Carter and the Medical Debt Reset Initiative in St. Paul, Minnesota for wiping out a massive, almost $40 million in medical debt. And to everybody that benefits from that, cheers. Man, my laptop is screaming tonight. I don't know what's got it so PO'd, but it is going. All the more reason that we need new hardware, which I am working on. All right, getting into our next health and medicine article. I called this one, this is obviously, we use a typical title for these types of articles. In this case, cancer. Fuck cancer. Oh, wait. This is how you get The Last of Us. And I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. It wants a drink, says Rebecca in the Facebook chat. I am not letting you drink my beer. If somebody wants to confirm that those links went through on the Facebook and the YouTube chat. I think Rebecca's laughing at the title. YouTube, yes. Producer Donna still can't see the Facebook. Rebecca confirming it is up. All right, and Cassidy following suit. All right, here we go. Caterpillar fungus used in Chinese medicine slows the growth of cancer cells, shows new study. You want to take 3 guesses at what kind of fungus it is? This was posted to goodnewsnetwork.org on November 17th of 2024. The author, as far as I can tell, is simply credited to Good News Network, so it must have been one of their writers. All right, here we go. This is how we get The Last of Us, folks. British researchers have discovered one of the secrets behind a traditional Chinese medicine made from an orange caterpillar fungus and are touting its potential for combating cancer. The mechanism that triggers anti-inflammatory and other health benefits within the compound, called cordycepin, were not understood in Western medicine until now. New research into the chemical produced by the caterpillar fungus has revealed how it interacts with genes to interrupt the very cell growth signals that drive uncontrolled cancer growth. Learning how it interrupts the cell growth signals that are overactive in cancer is an important step towards developing new drugs that could be less damaging to healthy tissues compared to many available treatments. Scientists from the University of Nottingham's School of Pharmacy have been studying how the parasitic fungi could affect a range of diseases and published their research in the journal FEBS Letters. They're doing a lot of work here to avoid saying its name. Oh, here we go into the next paragraph. Cordycepin, the compound produced by the Cordyceps militaris fungus that infects caterpillars and is sold as a health supplement, has shown promise as a cancer medicine in a range of studies, but until now it has been unclear how it works. Cordyceps. This is how we get The Last of Us. Or the Flood. Oh no. Charlie in the Facebook chat suggesting we make a drinking game for Nick's News where anytime engineering is mentioned or anytime I derp a word, folks will have to drink. Julie, weren't we talking about that? Cassidy, I think so. Rebecca's game. Oh boy, we're gonna have a drinking game for Nick's News at some point. Here we go with the cordyceps. Using high-throughput techniques, the research team measured the effects of cordycepin on the activity of thousands of genes in multiple cell lines. The research compared the effects of cordycepin with those from other treatments deposited in databases and showed that it works by acting on the growth-inducing pathways of the cells in all cases. By studying what happens to cordycepin inside the cell, the team confirmed that cordycepin is converted to cordycepin triphosphate, an analog of the cell's energy carrier ATP. Cordycepin triphosphate was shown to be the likely cause of the effects on cell growth, and therefore the molecule that can directly affect cancer cells. We have been researching the effects of cordycepin on a range of diseases for a number of years, so they've been doing this for a while. And with each step, we get closer to understanding how it could be used as an effective treatment, said Dr. Cornelia Demore in the university's School of Pharmacy, who led the research. One of the exciting things to have been happening is that it has become easier and less expensive to do these very large experiments, so we were able to examine thousands of genes at the same time. The data confirms that cordycepin is a great starting point for novel cancer medicines and explains its beneficial effects. For instance, derivatives of cordycepin could aim to produce the triphosphate form of the drug to have the same effect. In addition, the data will help with monitoring the effects of cordycepin in patients, as our data indicate particular genes whose activity reliably responds to cordycepin, which could, for instance, be measured in blood cells. So, this is how we make The Last of Us, with cancer-reducing or cancer-inhibiting medicines from caterpillar fungus, aka cordyceps. To everybody involved in this study and the eventual downfall of mankind as the dominant species of this planet, cheers. The Facebook chat has been going bonkers with creating drinking game rules for Nick's News. We'll have to roll those out at some point. So that gets us out of health and medicine. We are going to move on to category 3, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals. I called this first one, Release the Gophers! But I will copy and paste this into the chat if you all want to read along. And if somebody wants to confirm that these have hit the chats, I would greatly appreciate it. Yes, for both. Gophers were given 1 day to revive Mount St. Helens, and their impact on its ecosystem has lasted decades. This was posted to goodgoodgood.co. It was written on November 7th of 2024 by Cameron Baker. I had debated doing a Caddyshack reference, but it was gophers and not groundhogs, so... but it was a close second. Rebecca, release the gophers! Charge! In 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted in Washington state, lava burning every living thing within miles. Uncertain of the ecosystem's future, scientists decided to launch an experiment, and they sent one animal to work along the scorched mountain for just 24 hours. Gophers. In a new paper published this week, researchers have outlined the benefits of that one fateful decision, one that still has visible impacts 40 years later. The idea was that the gophers would descend upon the area. After the lava had cooled, of course, they're not going to put the poor gophers into still hot lava. They would help to dig up the land, they would introduce beneficial bacteria and fungi to help regenerate life in the Mount St. Helens ecosystem. They're often considered pests, University of California Riverside microbiologist Michael Allen said of the gophers. But we thought they would take old soil, move it to the surface, and that would be where recovery would occur. That prediction wasn't just right, it has had lingering effects decades later. In the 1980s, we were just testing the short-term reaction, said Allen. Who would have predicted you could toss a gopher in for a day and see a residual effect 40 years later? In the recent paper, researchers note an enduring change in the communities of fungi and bacteria where the gophers had been versus nearby land where they were never introduced, according to UC Riverside. Just 3 years after the eruption, researchers noticed that there were only about a dozen plants that had learned to thrive in the ecosystem, growing through slabs of porous pumice created by the lava. After the gophers were introduced to those pumice-filled areas, the land exploded again with new life, scientists said. 6 years following the experiment, there were 40,000 plants thriving on the gopher plots. Decades later, scientists can see the monumental regrowth of an old-growth forest full of pine, spruce, and Douglas firs. Although the ash and lava from the volcano seemed to have killed the trees, mycorrhizal fungi were reintroduced to the area thanks to the hard-working gophers. This fungi helps exchange nutrients in plant roots, protecting them from pathogens in the soil, providing nutrients in barren places, and ultimately helping plants survive. With the exception of a few weeds, there is no way most plant roots are efficient enough to get all the nutrients and water they need by themselves, Allen explained. The fungi transport these things to the plant and get carbon they need for their own growth in exchange. That's exactly what happened to the trees once covered in ash. These trees have their own mycorrhizal fungi that picked up nutrients from the dropped needles and helped fuel rapid tree regrowth, said UC Riverside environmental microbiologist and paper co-author Emma Aronson. The trees came back almost immediately in some places. It didn't all die like everyone thought. On the other side of the mountain, scientists say there still isn't much of anything growing, a drastic comparison to the area that was saved by the support of the gophers and the fungi they unearthed. This research underscores the importance of recovery following natural disasters, especially in the ecosystem so many species depend on. We cannot ignore the interdependence of all things in nature, said mycologist Mia Maltz, who worked in a UC Riverside lab during this study, especially the things we cannot see, like microbes and fungi. That is really cool. To all the scientists at University of California, Riverside for this study, and to the Gophers that changed the way Mount St. Helens revival has occurred here 40 years later. Cheers. Producer Donna saying they need to release more Gophers on the other side. I agree. If the Gophers had that big of an effect, definitely release the Gophers! I call this next one, Writing to Santa Ain't Just for Kids. And I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. And if somebody wants to confirm that those have hit the chat. I'm really looking forward to the tech upgrades. It's definitely going to be interesting running some new gear. So we'll see what the quality looks like, what the quality bump ups for our broadcast are. Producer Donna confirming we've got yes to both. Here we go. Donate a pound of food to shelter animals just by writing a letter to Chewy Claus, aka the Santa for Pets. This was posted to goodgoodgood.co on November 15th of 2024 by Cameron Baker. Charlie in the Facebook chat, I just imagine a massive semi-truck of gophers being let loose in the woods, and for some reason they all have army helmets on. Just Full Metal Jacket! Just going straight to it. That's funny. If you're a pet owner, you already know that your beloved companion deserves the world. Of course, the holidays are no exception. Chewy Claus, Chewy's Santa-adjacent giving program, is back, allowing you to submit holiday letters to the head elf up north. This year, the brand is spreading more cheer than ever, delivering gifts, donating food and supplies, and making wishes come true for pets in need. Pets and their parents are encouraged to submit their wish lists to Chewy Claus between now and December 20th. For every letter submitted, Chewy will donate 1 pound of food to its nonprofit partners, up to 600,000 pounds. While your dogs or cats may be writing Chewy Claus for a shiny new cat tree or a big bag of their favorite snacks, they can also defer their holiday gift and instead ask for an extra pound of food to be sent to pets in need. Dear Chewy Claus, my name is Murphy, and I am the most adorable dog ever. Since I am lacking opposable thumbs, Courtney, my human, pet parent, is helping me send my holiday list. This year I have been, does being cute count? And what I want most is more toys. My biggest wish this year is all the tennis balls in the world. I hope you can make it come true. Thank you, Chewy Claus. From Murphy. More often than not, when there are people who are struggling a little bit, they will feed their pets before they feed themselves, said Linda Marpole, a representative of the pet food donation program Care and Share, which works with nonprofits like Best Friends Animal Society to help keep pets and people together. The whole focus of my program is to help the people that need a little bit of extra help, so we can keep the pets and the families together, Marpole added. There are people whose whole emotional and mental well-being is dependent on their pet, so it's a win-win situation for both pets and their people. On top of the food donations, Chewy has partnered with Best Friends to offer fee-free adoptions at participating shelters during Thanksgiving weekend, Friday, November 29th through Sunday, December 1st. Chewy Claus is dedicated to spreading joy during the happiest time of the year, said Orlana Young, Chief Brand Officer at Chewy. I'll toss this in, I actually use Chewy for some of my equipment. I like Chewy's different, I love this, just the broad array of everything they have for any pet style, be it tanks, thermometers, hygrometers. all my extra equipment and stuff that I use to outfit these tanks, if I don't get them from places like Pet Supplies Plus or Petco, I pick them up and order them from Chewy. It's a great website, and they do things like this, which only makes me enjoy supporting them more. Julie in the Facebook chat gets Castle and Kaylee, her cats, food from Chewy. Very cool. When we received thousands of letters from pets asking for homes, we knew we had to help. There's no better way to celebrate the season than by uniting pets with loving families, whether they're first-time pet parents or welcoming a furry friend back home. Since the Chewy Claws program began in 2022, more than 500,000 pets have written letters. But among their wishes for tasty treats and festive toys, one item, homes for all of the pets living in shelters and rescues, continues to be the most sought-after gift. As we head into the winter holidays, shelters and rescue organizations across the country are filled with adoptable dogs and cats that deserve loving homes, said Julie Castle, CEO and of Best Friends Animal Society. Folks interested in adopting can find participating shelters on Chewy's website and make a plan to adopt during the holiday weekend. With dire overcrowding in shelters across the country, this act of goodwill and generosity can make a difference in the lives of countless animals. Adoption is the most important step everyone can take to save the lives of shelter pets, and free adoption initiatives like this from Chewy Claws make it that much easier for people to consider bringing home a new best friend, Castle said. We can't think of a better time of year than the holiday season to make a pet's wish for a loving home come true. In the Facebook chat, Julie, one of our next newsies, had a wonderful cat named Nightshade, and when they passed away, Chewy sent them flowers when they found out. Just another sign of how amazing this company is. They always send Castle and Kaylee birthday cards. And Cassidy, yep, they also did that for ourselves too, for a cat that passed a number of years ago. They're really awesome. To Chewy, the pet website, and Chewy Claws, this amazing adjacent program, this Santa adjacent program of theirs, and to everybody out there caring for pets or taking care of pets in shelters, cheers. So we're going to bounce into our final category. We're going to get out of flora and fauna, and we are going to get into the wholesome notes. Final category. We have one article, and I called this Lost and Found. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. I'm not crying, you're crying. Could have also been a suitable title, so get ready. And if somebody wants to confirm when these hit the chats, we'll get going. Rebecca asking, do I need tissues for this? I don't know, Rebecca. Maybe. I'm touched by a lot of articles like this, so we'll see how this goes. And everyone confirming we're good to go. For decades, a British town has honored this Canadian soldier. His family only just found out. This was posted to CBC News by Karis Mapp on November 11th of 2024. For decades, the family of Royal Canadian Air Force navigator Thomas Ferguson Wilson knew he had died during the Second World War, but they didn't know what had happened to him. Earlier this year, they learned he was one of 7 men on a Lancaster bomber that went down over a small village in Lincolnshire, England, due to a mechanical failure on April 10th of 1944. They also learned that ever since then, people in the town have honored the 7 crewmen in a special ceremony. Ferguson Wilson was Kitchener resident Laura McBride's great-uncle. He was 26 at the time of his death. McBride's sister is a researcher who was planning a trip to Europe. When deciding where in the country to visit in January, she started plugging their uncle's name on the internet. Lo and behold, she found a BBC article from 2016 talking about an annual memorial service that has been held by this very small town in England to memorialize the victims of this plane crash. And in the article, there was a call for the family members to come forward, McBride explained. The memorial was commissioned by the Lincolnshire Aircraft Recovery Group, or the LARG, in 2004. The group says on its website that their goal is to preserve what is now modern history as a tribute to those... something started getting edited. As a tribute to those who lost their lives during the war. A memorial to Lancaster ND 820 at Bicker, near Boston, reads LARG's website. The memorial was blessed by the Padre from RAF Coningsby on its 60th anniversary. McBride said she often wonders why the War Commission had not reached out, but according to a separate BBC article published in 2014, LARG is legally not allowed to contact relatives of crew members. Though 80 years have passed, McBride and her family felt it important to be at this year's memorial ceremony. Having made the discovery mere weeks before the memorial, McBride and her sister worked quickly to make the trip to Bicker Bar. When I found out that this has been happening for 80 years, my feeling was that they've been holding this space for us. They've been standing in for our family, to be there to celebrate and memorialize my uncle and his crew, McBride said. Volunteers now work to keep the memorial clean and help host the annual ceremony. The idea of taking that on yourself for other families, I think it's just so beautiful, she said. When the family went to honor their loved one, McBride says it was a wonderful moment. They had the opportunity to meet a man and woman who attend the ceremony every year and say they witnessed the crash when they were young. The family of 3 other men who had died in the crash were also present for this year's ceremony. McBride says the volunteers who help upkeep the memorial were elated to have one of the soldiers spoken for. We were lost to them for so long. They call us the families. So they're just grateful to have the families start to find this monument, she said. And it is a beautiful monument in memory of these airmen that passed away. While it would be a pricey tradition to try and attend the memorial every year, McBride says she plans to eventually go back, but is at peace finally knowing how her great-uncle died. The bodies of 6 of the soldiers were never found. The area is marked as a Royal Air Force cemetery. It is sadly poignant to attend the memorial site and realize that 6 of the crew are still out there in the fields, said Boston Coon. Paul Kenny, in a BBC, said Boston Coon Paul Kenny? I don't know what that role is. Said Boston Coon Paul Kenny in a BBC article published in March of 2014. However, witnesses of the downed bomber say they saw a soldier bail out from the vessel prior to the crash. That was McBride's great-uncle, who is currently buried at Stonefall Cemetery in Harrogate. Our journey to Bicker Bar was more than just a search for answers. It was a reminder of the power of memory and the importance of honoring those who sacrificed for others, McBride said. To the family of Royal Canadian Air Force Navigator Thomas Ferguson Wilson, and to him and his crew, and to the entire town of Lincolnshire, England, for remembering them and hosting a memorial every year to them. Cheers. Because that is some amazing stuff. Well, that is about it. 6 great articles. I thank you all for tuning in or catching the replay on the Knicks News Facebook page or the Knicks News YouTube page. Again, we're live every Sunday, and our next episode will be on November 24th of 2024. I encourage participation, so if you feel inclined, you can post suggestions for news brews, for shout-outs, for news quotes, and especially for good news articles you find that we can present on future episodes. If possible, I always appreciate a variety of articles that are spread out across our categories, and those categories, again, are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes, those really nice articles we like to end on that in some cases make us cry, but they're all tears of joy. You can message us on Facebook or on our Instagram, or you can also email us at somebudgetstudios@gmail.com. Links for all of this are in the description. Feel free to like, subscribe, or comment on our Facebook page and YouTube videos to get good news and joy out into the algorithm. We're still trying to figure out how the algorithm works, and we want to start getting this good news spread. I thank you all so much recently. After the last episode, our followers grew. We're now at 195 followers on Facebook. I am so proud of that and all of you like chipping in. I hope to get to 200 by the end of the year, and I'd love to see like the followers for the YouTube page grow. So we're gonna keep pushing both to get stuff out into the algorithm, to get the good news going. We get hit with so much bad news, and we really need a bit of good news to counter all of that. So I hope to keep bringing good news, and I hope to keep growing Nick's News to get out further and further so people can get a dose of good news every week, at least. So thank you all again. I'm not going to tell you to do anything, but I am going to say, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you all for liking, subscribing, commenting on our stuff, or just doing word of mouth and letting folks know, hey, there's a good news live stream every Sunday. Tune in, maybe you like it. I appreciate all of that, so thank you all very much. As always, thank you again. I love you all. Have a great night, and I will play us out.